carriage. I want to ask a quick question of you all. Are any one of
Mhm.
you piloting said carriage, or is there a third party involved for taking care of that? Like when you were hired, did one of you go like, I can drive a carriage, or
I'd probably go up front if no one else threw
sit
it
up
Yeah,
front with your
something.
dog?
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think I can drive. Probably in the back.
Wait,
I am. Nah, I'm not good at that.
it's a nature check for one, but it's not too difficult to just get a horse to do what you want. They're trained horses.
yeah,
They'll be good boys. You just pat them on the head enough times.
and it will allow me to keep my eyes out.
Why isn't
Because
it loading you into the Barovia scene? I don't know why.
yeah,
I think it's just too big. It's too strong. Point is, you are in a carriage. You have taken a job from a nobleman who said that he wanted to go to a place that he perceived to be dangerous and required some assistance. You decided to go along, and now you're in the middle of, well, compared to Absalom and some of the bigger, more urbanized areas, it might as well be nowhere. One of those backwater states with one of those backwater nobles was probably weird and esoteric and has one of those collections where you just shake your head and move on as quickly as you can. But the pay was good. After all, a panic noble will pay you more than he should for a job well done. We zoom in on the carriage as it drives through a valley. The pass snuggled nicely at the bottom, which means that all the water collects here and the road is nice and muddy, causing the continuous splashing of horse hooves and that musty, wet air to seep into the carriage itself too. Sitting opposite of two fine individuals is a gentleman in fine garb, the nobleman in question. He looks, well, he doesn't want to be here. The mud alone, its presence, its proximity, already insults his sensibilities. But he made a promise to do a duty, and so he will. Let's zoom in first on the first of many characters, namely Delilah.
Yeah.
What brought you here? Why are you here? What hopes do you have? What do you think about as you sit in this carriage and simply wait to reach a destination?
Uh, to put it shortly, Delilah is searching for her birth father, who apparently was here at some stage, and is kind of the cause of all the problems in her life. And so she's, looking for him to have him answer for what he's done.
A nice classical story. Let's hope that your dad doesn't turn out to be some guy smushed under a rock unceremoniously.
Now
Can you
save me the
imagine?
job.
Just give a skeleton a nice kick while you're there.
Yeah.
Also,
Skeletons are usually a lot easier to beat up than living people.
also in the carriage is, well, I don't know how to describe Cruxus because I didn't get a good impression of him.
Crucius.
Yes,
Crucius is, well, kind of pale, golden hair, typical angel look. Shut up, Dropbox. And honestly, she's been with this group because she despises tyrants. And she's heard that there have been events that happen in some of these cities. That's a big ass spider.
Ooh.
And so she was hoping to go with you, especially Delilah, who is looking for someone who has a checkered past, in the efforts to help people in general. She likes helping people. She's also a
Hmm.
bounty hunter, so if there happens to be money involved, she will assist a little harder.
just a little bit though. Don't get too
Not too much. She's not there for the money. It just helps.
there for the money. Marvelous. Up front on the carriage, holding the reins and sitting there with a little pupperino is
yeah,
Martha
What?
Hall. You are busy driving the carriage, so you can't completely take your attention away from the current circumstances, but you still have more than enough space to daydream a bit, or just look out as you slowly roll in upon a large set of massive gates in the distance. So big they could function as a dam. What do you think about that? What have you been thinking on the way here from, less backwatery civilization areas?
oh, I I've been trying to keep my head clear for the mission, but well, the job. But what I'm doing here right now is trying to have a clean job. A normal, just you know above the table, because the last one didn't do right by me. So this is nice, even job for me right now. Yeah. I'm also a bounty hunter, but not really affiliated with, Crucius. I don't even know Crucius. It's just a coincidence. A happy coincidence.
Oh,
So,
this is a
yeah.
really cool button I just learned exists. It's the pull to scene
What
button.
button?
I can pull people
Ooh.
to specific scenes that way. I was wondering how the hell you do
Yeah.
that. Well, as the cart moves along, and Anthony leans outside and takes a quick glance, he takes out a scroll case within which he has contained a map. Let me just pull up his dingle dongle so that I get him correct. Okay, let me just get into the voice. Give me a second. Alright, here we are. A little foggy, a little damp, a little wet, a little unpleasant. But that is to be expected of someone who owns things that come out of the ground. If I'm correct, those gates should be the ones on this map. And he rolls out the big Barovian map. For some reason, Dizzy won't load into it.
Yeah, I'll refresh. Hopefully, it'll fix it.
I don't know. It might just be because the map's really big, and you think Foundry would have like special things for that. But I think we can do this just fine in just a few days. We just have to sit down and hope nothing. Well, that's why you're here, just so that I don't have to worry about those details. At this point, I should probably show you what your missions are, because we are using milestone leveling, which means you level up when you complete objectives. And because I'm not one of those hack job GMs who just goes, you'll level up when you do something, here is what you're supposed to do and what you get for it.
Yeah.
Give you a nice, concrete overview. You might say, why not use experience points if you're just using the holes? Well, that's because Pathfinder 2 is so delightfully designed that it does in fact use a number that is essentially 10 times 100. Which makes it not percent, but like promille. Whoa. A world of opportunity opens up when you realize that's an option.
My word.
You can totally just arbitrarily decide that it's actually 1,000% promille.
5 million percentile.
Of course. The closer you get, the more Anthony starts to get, nervous. He wants to make a good first impression. And he's also kind of nervous about the fact that he's heard all these stories about monsters in the area. Do you do anything with the fact that he seems to be fidgeting with the map, rolling it up a bit tighter than he should, perhaps?
I'm going to try to understand what kind of monsters he speaks of.
Well,
I will ask him
you know how it is.
if there is any information that may lead to his greater degree of safety.
You understand what you could find in places like this? It's all werewolves, maybe. That sounds like something you would find here. Maybe Blackest. It's not Goblin County though. There's not many goblins, so don't worry about those. I think the orcs are further north, past Last Wall. So it will probably be whatever manages to slip through the cracks, as it were. I, however, have the fullest of trust that you will do just fine. Better than the last one, at least. And then he leans out to yell at Martha if she could maybe put a little more pace into it, because sitting in the middle of a valley with danger on all sides is a great way to just be slightly intimidated. Martha,
Yeah, I can speed her up.
as you get he doesn't say this because before you get, is that a fucking worm dog? I need to post this. You need to see this. Jesus, look at this. Look at that boy.
Are there any exciting things?
Friend.
It's a ringworm dog. It's so cute. Point is, when you roll up close enough to the gates, Martha, you can tell that in front of the gate are many old and weathered holy symbols. Like someone took a stick or made the holy symbol part of it, stuck it into the ground, and put a holy symbol on it. It's sort of like a mass grave or like a very shoddily organized graveyard, but made of holy symbols instead. Some of them have other accoutrements hanging from them as well. And Anthony seems completely shocked by this. And before you fully get to understand or fully analyze and appreciate the situation for what it is, he points forward and mutters something about a body before quickly hiding back inside.
Well then, do I see the body? Can I?
You follow where his finger was going, and indeed, let me just make sure I got this right. Just off the road, there is a figure lying on the ground. He's tightly clutching. Why did I want to say clutching? Some sort of a letter.
Guys, we got a body. With a letter. Anyone care about letters?
I am
So-
going to go read it. I am
Alright.
educated in reading.
I
It's a
imagine.
bad omen if ever I've seen one.
I imagine that as a champion, you would probably be somewhat stricken by the sight of this many disparate holy symbols.
Oh, yes, but that means that I am more focused on trying to figure out what is going on. Understanding will lead to rectifying.
As you push open the hinges, which honestly you were quite certain this thing was oiled before time. Now they're already getting creaky with all this humidity. You step off, the carriage shakes slightly, the mud gets on your boots, the cold and clammy air gets in since you're no longer in a small insulated box. And the whole scene of a large set of gates, would rival Absalom architecture in terms of size and grandeur. Whew. And all those holy symbols. Really is a striking scene to the eyes. What do you do? What does everyone do with the situation?
Well, I'm like if we're stopping, which I assume we are since.
Anthony wants you to get an all clear first. He does not just want to ride up to a body.
Yeah, so I stop a distance away, but I'm gonna keep by the cart.
Yeah.
Kind of have my crossbow at the ready and Shaska on alert.
Cool. You decide to scan the horizon. What do the other two people do?
I'm going to investigate the area around where we first are, especially close to the body, to see if there's any tracks of recent movement.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to examine the body itself. Just going to
Well,
maybe take a look at what that letter says.
analysis of tracks falls under the survival skill, I'm afraid. So, survival it is if you wish to glean some more pertinent information. I will tell you the basics, of course, but this rolls to see if you get additional. Ooh. You take a good look around and find indeed a set of tracks that should belong to this particular individual. What's more telling, however, is that that is the only set of tracks. Despite the fact that the body is, well, he is torn up and there's lots of bleeding.
So whatever killed him probably wasn't walking.
Does Delilah wish to do anything?
Yeah, I was gonna help. I was gonna help examine the body, just like see if the. You said already that there were a lot of wounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Foundry's being really dumb.
Well, just tell me what kind of examination you wish to perform of the body, then. There are many ways to look at a situation, many perspectives from which to analyze. You don't have to use let's say we don't have to use the medicine skill. You can definitely use something else.
It's not letting me open my character sheet, so I don't even know
Ugh.
what what I have available. So
It's Foundry's fine when it works, but sometimes it takes a while to get to work.
please, Foundry.
All right then. We'll go to Martha for a moment. And keeps her eye on the horizon.
Yeah,
Martha-
Shaska and I are taking both sides of the.
Since
Perfect.
scanning the horizon involves taking a close look at all surrounding details, you notice that these. I don't know how well trained you are in the arts of religion, but there are a lot of different kinds of holy symbols around.
I'd recognize
Some of
at
them,
least.
some of them have like vials hanging from them. Others have some weapons attached to them. It kind of get like there are holy symbols there that you've seen, like Siren Ray and Naomi Day, the obvious ones. But then there are symbols you haven't ever seen in your life, and it just kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Additionally, someone has gone through the extensive effort, or maybe it's just naturally how it is. There is no undergrowth or underbrush here. It's just flat dirt land, all the way up to the gate from here. Meaning, if you were setting up an ambush, this is a shitty place to do it.
Mhm.
Well,
So if there was an ambush, it just wouldn't be like their advantage. It'd be like
you would
more.
definitely need something like magic, or need to bring your own equipment to set up like a little shelter or something.
Yeah.
Like otherwise, you can see clearly all the way from mountain foot to mountain foot. I don't get, by the way, why, despite the fact that the gates are strongly implied to be in a valley, they didn't put mountains on either side of it on the map.
It's very forested right here.
Yeah, it's. But the thing that gets me is if you look at the handout that they give you, the handout is this gate is nestled between mountains. It's a valley, and the valley goes into the Svalich woods. But the map is just like forest, and it makes me wonder how much communication there was between parties. Because that seems like a pretty obvious to get right detail, you know. One of those details that if you get it wrong, it's like, listen, I was gonna give you a passing grade, but come on, man. Everyone knows he has blue eyes, and it's like, god damn it, I didn't read the source material.
I didn't know the deep lore.
I'm not gonna read all of One Piece just to get one detail right.
That'll just take you 40 years.
Ugh. Well, Dizzy, I don't know what's up with you, with your. Ugh. I think it might actually be the map being too big, and your browser goes no. So I'll need to solve that at some point. Let's see if that helps. So try it
You could
again.
try using a different browser if this doesn't work.
Yeah, I need to fix this map. I think I'm just gonna take this map, cut it in half. Easily said and done. Yeah, it's really big. Oof.
Oh yeah, now it works.
Okay, give me like a moment while I take care of this. Anyway, you are examining a body. What expertise are you bringing to the table? A
Uh,
medical examination will really only tell you what's up with the wounds and the condition of the body. It's more like a martial investigation or magic investigation to get the superfluous side details.
I mean, I could give it a magic investigation just to try and see if there's any lingering magical effects
No,
or
that's not what,
whatever.
I mean, that's not what I'm talking about. Like, if you find a wound, a doctor will tell you that's a burn wound, but a magic user can tell you that's a firebolt wound. So we're dealing with a nerd.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a boring nerd who min-maxed his character, hence why he got firebolt. And if it's electric arc, same deal. It's the firebolt of 2E. Okay, let me just data. God damn, my brain is half working today. Roll me, well, your magic stuff then, if you want to figure out something magical about the body.
Okay. Eh.
Well,
Off
you
to a
know,
great start.
God dang it. God dang it. Your examinations do reveal that. How do you explain this to someone who's never actually been to it? You look at the body. You check its situation. It clearly has like deep slashing marks on several parts. The letters also bloodied on as a result of this, and its clothes are torn up. But there are these. They look like burn marks, but they're not quite. It's like flesh has started to bulge and congeal into a certain shape.
Yeah.
Sort of like a growing, like a mutation. Let's just say it's called a mutation.
It's pretty safe to say this wasn't just a regular wolf attack or something.
Wolves don't leave slashing marks like that. Like I'll give you that for free. Wolves bite. Wolves don't claw at people or slash with
Yeah.
knives. Although if they do, like Martha gets good boy points for that. We didn't start the fire. I gotta save the PNG of the smaller version. How much smaller is it? It's 100 megabytes to 21. Oh, that's a big time saver. That would explain
Yay.
everything. Anyway, what do you do now that you've gleaned some basic information?
Probably the next step will be to check out the note.
Let's hope that it doesn't immediately.
Yeah, which I have the note, so I can do some reading.
Okay. I'm gonna load the map again just to see if it works this time for everyone. Okay, cool. It needs to reload all the assets. Whoops. Okay, you read the note. It's a handout. I prepared one for today. Here you go. I still don't like that in this one you don't get the benefit of the doubt. It's like if you want to show someone, you'll show everyone. Whoops, that's not the button I mean to push. So go ahead and read the little note, little niggity note.
Alrighty. To whom it may concern, I am a loyal servant of Lord S. von Zarovic. By this blank, I have blanked, bestowed the power to enact asterisk bounty upon the head of a treacherous many asterisks druids who seek to blight, I'm guessing that's our, fair land of Barovia. To any who think themselves able-thinged and willing to, I hope that doesn't say die, the bounty has
No
since been
lifers.
raised to no less than 100 pieces of gold. Bastard by another 100 for the Archdruid to, as taken. I'm just making up words to put in there. Take alive. In addition, the local blah, 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 will certainly offer free cask of finest. I'm trying to think what the people give that has. I'm guessing ale,
Hell will be it.
liberating their land of this infestation. There's a missing word in there. Do
Oh.
not take this bounty lightly. There are many, and they are dangerous, and the trees bend to their whim and wills. Dead shrubs become razor bushes, and lazy trees turn into birds of prey. A mere fire will not still their tongues. Approved? Boop boop. Master.
Boop boop.
I'm not gonna bother with all his titles, I don't care.
Master Brother, Staff Blood, Armstrong Blood. Oh,
What a man. He's got titles.
Many of them.
Mm.
Oh hey, everyone loaded into the map. Neat.
yeah.
Wow.
I can't
It's a
believe it.
map.
Well, I'll keep it in mind that apparently big files cause for big problems in Little China. Oh god, I see several already and I'm gonna have to shrink down. Whoops. Did I?
So was that letter put somewhere, or
That was in his hand. He was like clutching it. It was in his nice
Uh.
waterproof envelope.
I mean, like in case we need to look it up again, or is it just gone?
So you didn't need a letter opener to open it properly unless you wanted to destroy the letter like savages.
I have a knife. Carefully cut the seal.
Well, that sure is a letter. Doesn't tell you
Oh,
what happened to
Seth.
this guy though.
Did we start with any magic weapons?
You started with a whole bunch of money, but
Okay. Trying to figure out how to make my longsword have specials.
Oh, if you want to figure out how to do that, let me just jump into your sheet. So you go to your inventory, you edit the weapon using the little checkbox thing. Then
Yeah,
go
I'm
to the
in
details.
that.
You go into the details section, and there you can just set the potency rune to +1.
Okay.
Man, you can set
I'm
so
sorry.
many arbitrary things.
Yeah, you can.
Would you like to set that you get some extra critical damage? You can do that. It's extra strike damage. I guess that's useful for
Plus
like fire
30.
weapons.
Okay, well. Okay, that should be the long sword. So we'll make sure it did. Okay. Okay, I'm good.
Nice.
So, did that look like an open invitation bounty, or was that like a prescribed personal bounty?
Open
I'm pretty
invitation.
sure one's.
Like
Yeah, I
you
was
know what they
gonna
look like.
in-character talk it. I was gonna be like, I'm pretty sure that something like this would be whoever solves it.
I'm pretty sure they aren't going to be angry if you do the work they want you to do.
Hey, sounds like we picked up some backup work. Potentially.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well then, we should continue on.
Alright.
It seems to be clear.
Mourn the dead, then double time.
Just kick him closer to one of the holy symbols. Can't go wrong. Roll him over. Marvelous.
Oh.
You return to the carriage. Martha just has to climb onto it because she never left. And then you set back onto your journey, onto the large gates that stand tall and proud in the distance. There is that little nagging. Man, I reduced the map size by half, but the reduction in quality is minimal. Wow. What a giant map that must have been. Despite.
Huge.
Yes.
Just
Once you cross through this large structure as the day goes on, because it takes a while to get anywhere around here. Although, to be fair, it's not quite the old AD&D Wilderness Adventures where it takes literal weeks to go anywhere. So don't worry. That depends on the module. There are some where it's like days or hours. You travel down the road. The mud gets splashed around continuously. The horses stay on their course, but around you the trees can't help but feel as if they encroach closer and closer and then billow back out, as if breathing with every step you take. However, the peace will not stay for long, because at a certain point, you hear a shrill voice from the trees. Anthony almost immediately goes, "Ha!" As a result of the sudden noise. Martha, you can't go any further. A large log has been pushed onto the road. And while your horses can clear that just fine, the cart would... Like, you risk breaking a wheel trying to steamroll that. Around you hear the sudden cry of voices. "Ooh, big horse meat. You give us a horse, we won't make trouble."
Kind of need these horses.
Also, they have names. They're some of Anthony's favorite horses. They're Titania and Betsy. You know, for some moral support.
Alright.
For context, he did in fact tell you that this is Titania and this is Betsy, and don't you get them mixed up.
we have to be very careful not to get them mixed up.
Martha and the people inside who also heard this conversation, or let's just say people yelling at you. What do you do with this information? They demand a horse, or they will cause trouble.
I'm gonna go and talk to them about what kind of trouble they wish to cause. Hopefully, I can put them down before I have to put them down.
You step outside and you take a look around, was it?
Yep, I'm gonna try to see where they are and what they are.
You can roll me some perception in that case versus their stealth DCs, and perhaps you'll take a glance at one of them. They are all of a thick and ambush.
Boop.
Baboop. Unfortunately, all you see are many trees and dead shrubs. It is a little foggy with all this humidity around. Also, you may move your token at will. By the way, these are doors. You can open them by clicking them. Oh, I didn't set vision for this, even though I made little walls. Like I said, please...
I have fixed my color.
Nice. Be green, be mean.
Wait. Oh, okay. You actually have to click the doors.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool.
you must click the door for it to open. That's how doors work. You have to open them. You step outside and take a look around. Unfortunately, your watchful gaze does not see anything, as I mentioned. Delilah and Martha, how do you respond as Cruxus decides to go outside and take a look?
Shasta is gonna follow Crixus and
Crucius.
Crucius, and Martha's gonna stay by the slightly open door of the cart.
Wait, what do you do with the door?
I'm just gonna stay by it,
Mm-hmm.
so nothing gets in.
So, as you stand here, the sound of slobbering can definitely be heard. They are drooling over the side of a nice, firm-bred stallion. That is
Oh my god, they're
good
goblins.
cuts of meat.
Can I tell where the sound is coming from, or?
How good are you with hearing?
Uh,
Like, your hearing is an imprecise sense.
is there an actual thing for hearing?
No, I'm just asking you
No.
if your character has any particular sense of hearing. I'm not asking you for the mechanical implementation thereof.
Well, probably decent. Probably, because
Okay. Well, you can roll me.
tracking
You can
whatnot.
roll me a little bit of a perception. I'll give you a direction since you're relying on a sense that's not perfectly accurate.
Bam.
Okay, they're definitely close to the north and a little bit further away to the south, relative to the map.
So
You're pretty sure that if one of
roughly,
them wanted to, they could jump right in your face at this point. Anthony leans in and says that you will not give his horses away. That you will not give them what they want.
we will
Get
not
it
give
done.
your horses away.
We give you one more choice, one more chance. By the way, does anyone here have like a good society check? Like, do they think they might know something about goblins since apparently you're accusing them of being it?
I am trained in society.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
And actually, my god has a divine skill for society.
Well, ain't that just some shit? Marvelous.
What's that mean, by the way?
What do you mean?
Divine
Okay.
skill.
Okay, that only comes into play under certain circumstances. Let's be clear. That's not something you get for free just for following a god.
Okay, I just want to know what those meant because I have the god like pulled up. And
Yeah. I think clerics specifically get like a skill from their deity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
because mine is favorite weapon. And
marvelous. Anyway, if you say no to the goblins, they'll jump out. You'll see very quickly who's hiding in the trees.
I can see if they are a goblin, like you said.
I'm just gonna ride him across the bow then.
I don't know. It doesn't
'Cause-
feel very goblin to, like. Yes, there are ambushers, but they don't ask for things. They just take them. They are the plush embodiment of chaotic evil. That's mine now, and then they grab it, and then it usually is big enough to just walk away, but they keep holding on. Endurance hunters. Eventually, you'll get tired of carrying this goblin on your leg.
That's why there's always a lot of them.
Well, anyone else want to do anything particular? Because in a moment, Anthony's just gonna scream at them that they'll never get his horses alive.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
just
just
kind of
gonna-
taking cover in the cart. Just like,
Delilah's making sure that she's ready to rock and roll, baby. Marvelous, cool, sexy. Let's get everyone into the combat section, which is a lot easier in this. Anthony will also fight for his life if he must, but he doesn't want to, so don't dare. Here's the combat tracker. Please click the die to roll unless you want to use another skill, in which case you can open your character sheet, go to the red ribbon, go to initiative, and set it with the drop-down menu. But it should be
Also,
perception.
where are my
Mhm.
devotion? How do you get devotion spells?
What do you mean, how do I get devotion spells?
Like I have, it just says in the book that I have devotion spells.
That is a great question. Let's
Are
take
they
a look.
listed somewhere?
So where does it say that you have devotion spells?
Okay, so I got the thing open for champion.
Devotion spells.
Right under it, it says devotion spells.
Yeah, you have lay on hands.
Because, that's all it is. Okay.
Yep.
yeah, you start with one based on your like.
Goodness or badness.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good
I didn't
boys-
know if there were different types.
Good boys get kisses, bad boys get slaps.
Unless you're undead, then that's also a kiss.
Oh man, watch that undead blush. Anyway, Cruxius.
Crucius.
Crucius. Please click the die to roll your initiative.
The
Oh,
combat
good.
tracker.
Actually, I can do it for you, and I'll just do it. You look at that. I tainted you with a 9. I tainted you, Martha. How about we go
Yeah.
over quick how your buddy works? For your Shashka to do anything, you need to use an action to tell them what to do, and then they get 2 actions for it. At a certain level, they'll get to do some extra stuff on their own, even if you don't tell them to. But for now, you have to boss them around, as it were, where they'll be like, "What am I supposed to do?" However, you don't see any enemies quite yet. It might be worthwhile to delay.
Yeah, I might play.
You
See
decide,
if anything comes out.
you decide to wait a moment, meaning I update your initiative, and I'm gonna lower you to the next set of. This is a real fucking question. Can you delay in between 2 people with the same initiative? I'll say no, because that's just kind of silly, and also a question I don't want to think about. That hurts my head. Let's not get too into the specifics. You start to hear a drum beat. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. As in the trees, a goblin casts Inspire Courage. Of course, spellcasting, and especially telling their friends how to do their job, is noisy as all hell. So you immediately know where they are. They're nice and up in the tree. In fact, all the goblins are up in the tree right now, about 10 feet. So you could probably reach them if you have a big long arm. And then, just to mess with you, what will be a fun one? Which one of you looks like deserves a big spook the most? You know, come on, who would you throw under the bus and say that they should be scared?
Well, I mean, I'm probably the obvious target, being kind of the
Obvious
angelic
target,
looking
please roll a will
person.
save. Did you know that you can click your token and then click that save button and it will roll the save for you? Isn't that just great? You don't even have to go into your sheet to do it. The technology is here. Oh no, you are frightened too, which means that most of your things are now worse by 2. As, let's just say that a magical fear burrows itself into your mind. Then, immediately on the same initiative from the other side, a goblin who doesn't quite look like a goblin hops out of the tree with a reckless abandon. First,
Beep, beep,
they,
beep, beep, beep.
first they need to make me a check though, because they are jumping quite the distance, and goblins are not frogs. If you wanted the neat eats goblins, they are not frogs.
This is news to me.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I'm writing that down.
Long jump. Oh, that's really good. So he can only jump 16 feet. So you watch. I mean, there's a cart in the way, but I think Delilah would probably catch like a glimpse of this goblin jumping out of the tree, and then just falling onto the ground. As he got just a little too antsy there. Listen, it's a good, tasty, tasty horse. Then he gets up. Again, has to spend action to get up. And then just goes right for the ankles on that horse. Chompy, chompy. Chompy, chompy. The horse, the stallion, becomes very much panicked by the fact that it's suddenly bitten. Did you know that animals become frightened and to an extent fleeing when they are exposed to combat? Martha, as these two goblins with their simultaneous attack resolve, you decide to step in action. What do you do?
Alright, Shaska's gonna go to the noise of the thing attacking the horse.
Oh, long jump is
So-
2 actions. Excuse me, the horse is not hit. I forgot. It's leap that's 1 action.
Okay.
Okay, so there's no biting.
But we heard the thing, right?
Yeah, you definitely heard him hit the ground. You're just into the mud.
Alright. Shaska, go check it out and eat whatever it is. So, Shaska's gonna, I guess, run. Oh, I can't run through the horses, so you gotta run around it.
Actually, I mean, Shaska's like pretty small, so they can probably get through the horses.
Okay.
Also, you can
Okay.
always move through allied spaces, although the horses are frightened in this. Not very allied right now, stomping around. But Shasha can do
What?
it. Just go nuts.
There's an area where
Also, to be
Ah.
fair, I think Shashka
there's
can like,
the wall.
yeah, Shashka can make it anyway. Like, it doesn't matter if they go through the legs or not.
Alright, well,
Newming
stand
Popo.
over here. Meow. And Shaska gets 1 attack too, right?
Yep.
Hoppa. Probably
Well,
not.
nope. You're gonna need to roll a little bit better than that. Martha, you still have 2 actions. What do you do with those?
What I'm gonna do, since I had it ready. Hoppa. Nope. Hoppa.
Oh yeah, you're repeating. That second one hits. Please roll me the damage.
Yeah, boy.
Well, he'll feel that one. In fact, he'll feel it right now. A solid hit as a bolt flies through the air and strikes directly into him. The other goblin sits further on the branch and would like to. He thinks he's got a chance to get right on top of this horse. He just has to not flub this. He flubs it. What a hero! You hear another splort, and these goblins realize they're gonna have to not skip leg day if they want to jump onto horses from the trees.
That takes practice.
This one, however, is far less go-get-him attitude-y. He just scoots his way down, whoop, slides down the tree, and jumps onto Cruxius, weapons firmly outstretched. Cruxius, I think your armor class is 17, so would you like to take a damage? They land on their 2 feet, and they don't... You don't recall seeing goblins that look quite like this?
So I take 1 damage.
Why would you take less?
Just making sure.
You take 5. That's what I rolled. And as I mentioned, you can click yourself and then click the little gear icon, and it just applies it for you. Don't forget that you have stamina. It helps a lot. Actually, I think it automatically deducts from your stamina first, so don't worry about that. Also, I don't want to have to deal with another player who never ever updates his freaking health.
Wait, where's the gear icon?
You click your icon. And you,
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
right click.
You click
Okay.
you click yourself. Yeah, you can right click yourself to manually edit it, but you can also click yourself. And you notice that when I roll the damage, it has like those little buttons next to it, so little squares. The
Yeah.
gear, the leftmost one, just applies the damage as full.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh, that is neat.
Yes. Anthony, he draws forth his weapon, but as I mentioned,
Foxglove.
he doesn't want to fight nobody. Yes. It is Mr. Foxglove. It's not
It's
Anthon.
not Aldrin, but
Not Aldern, no. Goddamn. How could I forget his name? Aldern. It's like a tree. He is ready to fight.
and Foxglove is a plant.
It is. I wonder what kind of plant it is and how thematically appropriate it is for who he is as a person in the
It is a
campaign.
pretty but very poisonous plant. That many
Well, that
people
makes
have in
sense
their
for
gardens.
Okay, I don't want to spoil what happens to Mr. Aldern, but let's just say that fitting. Marvelous. Well, this guy is. Well, you know what every goblin team has? They have one who either throws hundreds of bombs or one that throws hundreds of little sparks of fire. This one tosses a little spark between his hands, slowly creating an ever larger fireball, and then he hucks it with both hands, giving it the old Kirk special. A fireball flies directly towards Martha, since, they saw that bolt coming. Luckily, Martha's armor class enough that it does not crit, but it does hit. Ooh! Look at this mean... Oh, excuse me. That should be with +1. As it should be for the other one because of the... No.
the
They're
-1.
They're being inspired courageously. Bards are pretty good, by the way.
Right.
Delilah, it's finally your time to shine. The carriage doors are loose
Alright.
enough that they don't take an action to open. You can just charge through them. If you wanted to.
In that case, I'm probably going to head out and try and protect the horses down here.
That's one action.
Yeah. And then I'm going to use Chill Touch on the one in front of me.
Oh gosh. Oh goodness. Fort save. I mean, you're not quite sure if you want to touch this thing. Ugh. It's kind of gross. Let's see. Well, half damage. Nice. However, I imagine that with all that extra growth, he just starts to shrivel up in weird places, and his skin is weirdly tight with all this muscle under it. Also,
Yeah.
I have some weird bitrate issues. Yeah, that's how it goes. Crixus. Would you like to do a thing? Might help you.
Yes. Some of these are within my range, yes?
Yeah, there's a guy like standing right next to you. This guy.
I'm going to try to shank him.
Show him what your
There's
sword can do.
Boom.
That is a
Big
hit.
shank.
Show me the goods. Ooh, it's gonna feel that one. A large
And
gash.
second strike. No.
You have one more action.
And final. Nope.
Careful there. You might someday run into a swashbuckler, and he'll punish you for doing that. The drum beater
Every time.
The drum beater keeps beating the drum.
I still
and
want to try and swashbuckler 2E.
yeah, the drum beater reminds their friends, please focus on the fighty part. Please, do. Oh,
Haha.
there's something happening in my
Doo-doo.
stomach. No, don't do that. That's illegal.
Haha. Comedy.
Then, as part of a fantastic performance, they cause a rock to hover, levitate, and fly towards Martha. Martha, dodge! Martha, dodge.
I dodged.
This little dopey thing is like... Well, I mean, he wants to eat a horse, but something about him seems a bit more primitive than the average goblin, because he immediately loses all intention for the horse and goes, dog! Takes a step to the side. And he tries to wrestle the dog to the ground. Fails. And then just tries to sink his teeth in. If anyone is looking at Sashkar right now, there's a goblin clinging to their backside flimsily and then gets tossed off as they try to bite. It's all a big mess. Martha,
Wait,
just in case you wanted to know, since you're a ranged person standing adjacent to someone in melee, there are no penalties for shooting range and melee unless they are a fighter and can slap you in the face for it.
Alright.
Remember,
Well,
attacks of opportunity are not automatic things anymore.
On the other hand, if an attack of opportunity crit hits, you lose whatever happened, and it's so mean.
well, first up,
Once a mage slayer.
gonna move around and do a little chop.
Sashka,
The shot.
that hits. That hits.
Alright. and Chop.
That was a big ol' oof. Oof. Unfortunately, the second he rolls on the ground, Sashka gets a quick hit in. Martha, what are your actions used for?
I just remind myself what Hunt Prey does.
It lets you use your hunter specialty thing against them.
Oh right, yeah. Oh yeah, that helps my multi shots, but I'll only get the benefit next round. So
That's the real trade-off with having an animal companion.
yeah.
Well, your animal companion. Oh, by the way, don't forget that you share the same MAP as your pet. Like, if your companion attacks, you also gain the MAP for that.
All right. Right.
So
Okay.
it might be
got
worth it to hunt prey right now to get that flurry if you have it.
Alright. Then I'm gonna Hunt Prey. Blah blah yeah. I guess
Prey hunted.
yeah.
Hunting begins.
So I only take the minus this.
Yeah, it's reduced by a little bit. Multiple type into goes down to 2, right? Yep. Well, you don't hit the guy next to you because I guess people around there just don't want to roll it. I guess luck's not on your side. The fates have turned against you. You have one action. No, wait. You hunted. The Atavist. This weird goblin with his big, extra sharp looking teeth, which aren't as irregular as most goblins' teeth tend to be. Notices Delilah try to touch it, and it immediately responds by snapping at your hand. Chop. Then he
Pull it
draws
back really quickly.
forth
Gross.
a fine blade and licks his lips as he goes for the ankles like a good goblin would. Luckily, you're apparently very good at withdrawing limbs from sharp objects. By the way, your frightened value reduces by 1 at the end of every turn of your turn.
Yay.
The goblin atavist tries to keep. Kind of wishes he had someone on the side to help flank. It'd be very nice. Ugh, he's gonna have to make do by going. Ooh yeah, let's just trip you up. Whoop. Cruxius. Despite the odds, the goblin manages to tangle themselves into your legs and force you to fall over. You are knocked prone.
I can stab it from the ground.
And then he raises his weapon and tries to get you right in the chest. Clink. That's a close one. And then in frustration, he strikes again. Clink.
Please stop.
To be fair, it's... You can act all tough you want, but there's like a murderous thing standing on your chest, and he's slobbering and wielding a sharp weapon. At the very least, there's the fright of, baby.
There is baby.
The fact that this is an unreasonable man-child of a creature. And it will not be nice. Ugh, I mean, this guy, he doesn't want to go down there just to flank. Ugh. Guess we'll have to make do. He does, however, slide down the tree, whoop, all the way over here, which will take him an action or two to do safely. You know what? That's all he can do then. Sometimes in 2E, a turn is just nothing. Delilah, this man is trying to bite you and slash you and tear you to pieces. Do something about it, quick.
Yeah, go with another chill touch first.
He withers under your firm grasp.
And then follow it up with a stab with the other hand.
Oh no, you have another hand.
Yeah, I have 2 hands. One of them has a knife in it.
That's all you need. By the way,
That knife now has a goblin on it.
in case you want to say, but wait, why don't they have multiple attack penalty? Because it was a saving throw. Chill touch is a saving throw, and therefore, one of the fun things the spellcasters can do. It's kind of silly. Well, that does hit him, and he does start to look beat up. At this point, you've got enough damage done that you could have killed one goblin. Instead, all of them are like a little hurt. But hey, it's morale you're looking to break, not bones. Cruxius.
Okay.
You're-
So I could try to stab it from the ground, right?
Yeah, but you get a -2. Like you could just.
Okay, that didn't work.
To be fair, it wasn't the prone that stopped you from hitting.
Yeah. So can I try to grapple it off of me? What's the check for that?
Well, it's not technically grappling you in any way. Like you can just get up and it will fall off of you.
Oh. Can I do that? Well, that wouldn't change anything.
I'll let you take it
So
back
I
if you
will-
want to, since apparently it was a miscommunication.
Yeah, I thought that was like a different check.
Cool. You'll
Okay,
get up.
so
then.
yeah, I will get up and I'll shank it.
See, that's a lot better. Now, don't forget, flanking is nice. Makes them flat-footed. Gives you an extra +2. Would have given you a critical, but instead you just get a hit.
So critical is 10 above
10 above.
or 15 above.
So if his armor
Okay.
class is 19, 29 would have done it. Man, that would have been...
Then my last action, I will stab it again and miss.
Well, that puts him down even further. While things aren't looking that bad, like no one's died yet, they are all starting to look a little bit banged up. The drum beater tries to keep his courageous spiel up, but he too is starting to feel in his jimmies, as it were. He points down to his ally and unleashes a soothe, telling him to stay strong. Ooh. Apparently, though, he doesn't believe that, and the magical energies wash over him ineffectually. There's still a dog fighting a goblin in the background.
Woof woof.
A nice localized skirmish between two great and heroic forces. He really wants to grab onto that wolf, but
Ooh, that hits.
just can't. No, that doesn't, because
Oh.
it's against 4 DC, which is 17. So it really is just a goblin and a dog basically sumo wrestling at this point. And
It's like they're playing but also trying to kill each other.
there's a lot more biting though. And then with 2 quick flurries, apparently lands 2 blows on Sasha.
No.
Wow.
Wow.
Stab, stab.
Wow,
Martha.
and a max damage roll on one of them.
That's to Shaska, so.
Oh wait, whoops.
Okay.
I set his hit points to 5 instead of
Yeah.
increasing it by 5. What do you do? Also, Crixus is no longer frightened.
Wait, why didn't Martha
Uh,
get damaged?
Yeah, why is Martha getting hurt?
Oh, because I had her selected too, I guess.
Well, give yourself back 11 hit points then.
How do I unselect my dog?
Left click.
Click off of it.
You might have to click and drag
Nope.
sometimes. The click and drag a little
Okay,
window.
try to select something else and it'll unselect it.
Or just click on it again.
Yeah, that helps
Nope.
too. Weird. No. Click and drag like a little selection box.
Oh, it's my turn again?
Okay, there you go. Now Martha can heal, which is the heart run, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I already
Okay,
gave you
yeah.
your hit points back though.
Oh shit. So I gotta take that damage.
Nah, don't worry.
Okay.
Let's just move on.
Okay.
What do you want to spend your
Martha.
turn on? You have lots of actions to throw around.
Martha's gonna do 2 more shots because she can, which will be. Wait. I do the +6. But it's -2 instead. How does that work?
Gosh, flurry is such a weird one because it's different for weapons. Let's take a look. See, I don't know flurry from the top of my head, but I'm close. The first one is minus. The second one is -3. Third one is -6, or -2, -4 with an magic weapon.
So should I click on the minus? Well, the
You haven't attacked
big
yet.
one. Shaska did though.
Didn't see any attack rolls.
Oh, okay. I was confused because I was getting hit. Okay, so Shaska is gonna do her big girl attack.
That's a very big girl attack. Roll me
Crunch,
damage.
crunch.
Oh, he's down to let's just say he's at critical health. He's like falling back. Ah!
Get the kill, good girl.
Unfortunately, she can't take a second attack.
She can. She has 2 actions.
All right, because she didn't move. Wow,
Aw.
damn it! I
Unfortunately,
believe.
in a desperation move, he protects himself. Martha, what do you do?
Martha's gonna take her last. Okay.
No, I don't want to make a multiple. So some cards towards a multiple attack penalty. Well, that's a thing. I thought animal companions contributed to multiple attack penalties, but I just got someone telling me that that might not be the case. We'll look into this. For now, I think it's only fair that if you get 4 attacks on your turn, that they all contribute to it. But I'll look into this. Marvelous. So Martha makes an attack. Martha, your weapon is getting a bit low on ammo, isn't it?
Yep, I only have one more shot before I need to reload.
Marvelous. Would you like to make that shot? Because I think you still have an action left.
Yes.
Cool. Fortunately, it's a 19. You need to hit this guy. His defense is pretty solid. Wait a minute. Yeah, because I should attack twice. That's why. See, I'm dummy.
You're not a Claire level dummy, at least.
You know, this edifice still feels like they got a chance against you. They still think they can handle your Delilah. You're just a silly little magic user. You probably write things on paper like a dummy does. They're gonna go right for your ankles. Ugh, God dang it! How are they supposed to hit you in the heart if you're all the way up? If it's all the way up there, or your ankles will pay the price. God.
The price is annoyance.
Delilah, Master Monk. Ugh.
Delilah's past life was taking care of school children.
This one ain't exactly feeling it, but he's gonna have to make do. Wow. First, he's gonna make 1 attack against Crucis.
Ooh, I take that.
You know what?
I am so glad that's a button.
Then you
Very
know,
helpful.
gonna try and trip you up. Oh boy!
Ooh.
And he jumps back. You fall down to the ground and also take 1d6 damage on the way down. Boonk. Which is a critical trip. This fine pyrotic gentleman. Oh, wait. He has a spell. He has a spell for this. Nya! A burning gout of flame erupts.
In the wrong direction.
He just
Yes,
shoots
thing
it
is-
away from us.
Thing is, I can't
Look
seem
what
to,
I can do.
I can't seem to reorient this.
No.
Well, that's why I can't reorient it, because there was another one on top of it. He sprays it thusly. Luckily, since his ally is all the way in the... Yeah, he would be more than 15 feet away, especially since goblins are really low.
The tree that is now on fire.
Yeah, the tree is partially on fire, but would you like to perform in DC against 3? That's a almost snake eyes. It's poor man.
Yeah,
Martha
that's
takes
a
1.
horrible roll.
Would you
Take 1 point damage.
You both take 1 point damage. You're both like at most like slightly singed, and that's if like anything happens at all.
It's just some slightly warm air.
See, I'm just annoyed at this point.
Delilah, could
Mm.
you just finish one of them off, and they'll probably scurry away because things ain't going their way at all.
I'll lead with the stab this time. And a miss. And
Oh.
then...
Wait, how do you make it determine who you're attacking?
use the little target icon in the top left.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Select the target and then it will automatically calculate it for you.
So nice.
Ah,
That is neat.
And then frost him.
I keep forgetting it's a cantrip because I looked at the Pathfinder 1 spell list.
Yeah.
Come, bibicha. Oh, you're starting to look pretty low. Go ahead. You got knocked prone and it hurt. And honestly, I imagine you're a little bit sick and tired as a goblin constantly tripping your ankles up.
I am immensely tired of this, so I get up. 5-foot step is not free anymore.
there you
Nope, it ain't. Martha Hall gets damage 1 hit point. No!
Yeah. I forgot to
No.
take the damage from the.
You'll never recover.
The big damage.
Not
So here we go.
actually the hit by 3 because you're no longer prone. You can right-click yourself and then use the icon of the man who's glowing a holy aura to assign status effects. Left-click applies or increases, right-click removes.
Oh,
But
neat.
I'll remind you that later when you need to do it so that it sticks better in your head. Anyway, hit him. Roll me the damage. That's a offsided swing, but you can do it. You can do it. Come on, you got one action left. What do we do with it?
All right, let's go for that 5.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's see if you can do it. Can you make it? Oh man. So we got a goblin at 2, we got a goblin at 1, 7. Oof. Yeah, I think they're gonna blow retreat. Things are looking bad. Okay, cool. Combat round is over. The goblins are going to. They essentially signal retreat. They're gonna run away when they can. Would you like to say something about that? Or are you just gonna let them go now that they're like "Mwah" about it?
Have a look here.
Like, I'm just asking, do you still want to take your turn, or are you satisfied that they are no longer a problem?
I mean, if they're running
They are
away, I don't
retreating.
want
It is
chase them down.
dishonorable for me to chase them down unless there is
Yeah.
a bounty or something on them.
And there's no way we could clear them all if we swung, so.
just kind of
Yeah,
yelling
there is.
stuff like, and don't come back.
Don't you come back, you hear, or I'll be moderately upset. As the quiet returns from their distant yelling,
No.
you are experienced enough adventures to know that that's not what goblins look like. Anthony shares the sentiment, though he was mostly cowering. You know, he hired you, not himself. I thought there weren't going to be goblins here. I got enough of those in Varizia.
They were strange goblins, not the kind I am used to.
Definitely weirder than the ones in Sandpoint. Did you see? Is this the terrain here? Is there a need for them to adapt these horrid features? You see those teeth? They're very different from the ones they normally have, like dog teeth.
Did he get hit,
Yeah.
Chief?
No, I'm fine. You've been able to keep me and my horses perfectly safe, which is all I could really ask for.
No.
They're all weirdly lumpy too. Never seen goblins like that.
Kind of like muscles were growing in the weird places because at times they were spasming and bulging like a muscle would, like flexing.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't pleasant to look at. Thank you.
That is why we were killing them. Well, aside from them trying to kill us part.
Probably mostly the part where they tried to steal the horses.
And to try to hurt us and fail, mostly.
Actually, let me rephrase that. Trying to eat the horses.
Good old Tatiana and Betty.
Gosh, I gotta figure out how to make this work for... I'm gonna shrink this over. I'm gonna go through all the things and make them small in 10 megabytes. Maybe that will work. Okie dokie. Well, luckily, you are able to move on from here. Bandit density tends to be low enough that you can now move at least 1 hour, as they say. Honestly, that would be bad for business if as a bandit camp you were like competing on the same stretch of road. It'd just be silly.
Oh, Safi, real quick, before
Yes.
we continue. You had that sheet that was the ancestry and all for the Archon.
Yes.
I can't open it anymore. The one you sent me before. Do you still have that?
I just sent a... I think I just sent a picture, so that'd be weird.
Yeah, the link that I had for it doesn't open anymore.
Path, let me see if I can get into Scribe. I could just open it for you and take a look. Look-see. Justice Archon. Oh, this is empty. I need to log in first. Good, cool. I really appreciate Scribe Pathfinder 2e tools, which, by the way, good website. Got all the tools you need. Open Justice Archon. I would like to export it as HTML. Here. This should do it. You move down the road with relatively little issue.
Thank you.
By the way, don't know why you have the Blade of Justice, but you can't. You're not level 12.
Oh, I thought I could get that one because you sent it to me.
I was just
Oh
joking.
no, I got on my sheet. Okay.
You also can't
I'll
test my
fix
evil
that.
yet. Please look at the level requirements.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this finished while we're going.
Yeah.
Definitely hasn't mattered.
Yeah. It's almost as if we had 2 weeks to do this.
Yeah, but we never
You were a
get back
big
here in certain times.
big weenie. That's why. Point is, you come across a cross in
Wow.
the road, and Anthony is very confused about this because he keeps pointing at the map and going, "There is no split in the road here," but there is. he'll just make a friendly mark of it and remind you that he wants to go places. Do you have any desire to investigate this particular situation? Although Martha can see that there are weird shimmering lights somewhere off in the distance where this road goes.
What were you looking at? Marking the road?
You're splitting the road. Like, I imagine you
Ah.
took care of the tree without any hassle. You have horses,
Yeah.
after all. Get the horses to eat the tree.
There's a split, and we know, just going straight would take us to.
Yes, you have a map,
right.
and he's like, listen, I got a compass, and it says go west. The fact that there's a split here at all surprises me, because I bought this recently made map. He's probably just slightly upset that his map doesn't do what it needs to.
I'd probably just want to get, to our destination quickly, but anyone else?
Yeah, we're escorting Anthony. We should
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
follow
No
his
time for
plan.
distractions.
That is the business answer, the professional answer, for professionals.
Yeah.
As you move down, once more, a split in the road comes across. This time it has a sign, which Martha can read as they come on by. The sign reads, Old Lady Hissa, Hag of the Woods for all that ails you. So hey, at least you'll have a doctor if you want to find one.
Well,
It is also at this point that the many flickering lights seem to surround you, and then sort of focus in one spot, and then Anthony starts to yell that his compass isn't working anymore. Considering that there's an ever-encroaching fog slowly creeping up on you, something seems to have a desire to mess with you.
Alright, keep your eyes open, people.
Yeah, that's not good.
Probably not good at all.
Now, this is a very polite way of saying it's very difficult to navigate in the current circumstances, since the road is already barely visible, and now I can't even look ahead. Do you think you have any particular skills in navigation?
If I could see at least the road close to the horses, I could probably try and keep my eye on that.
Cool.
I also have experience tracking, and good.
Yeah, that requires you to get outside the cart
navigating.
and take care of that. Yes, but you're currently inside of the cart. Just for
True.
context. Have to walk through all this mud. All right then, Martha, you can roll me some perception. See if you can keep a clear head while these twinkling lights in the distance try to grab your attention. They do that sneaky thing where they very slowly veer you off the road until you draw a big circle. Let me pull up something that makes sense for this. How good are these guys at deceiving people? Very good. Ooh. Martha, you think you're doing it right.
Alright, we got this.
But that's not what happens. Eventually, you hear, instead of the squelching of mud, you hear splash, sploosh, splash. You have been really led astray. As you find yourself, well, near a river. In the distance you can see like river deltas and the wetlands that would surround where a river spreads out in awkward ways.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
The fog clears up, the lights flicker over the water. And something draws itself from the waters.
Tatiana, Betty, I trusted you.
You hear,
Also, you don't trust them.
how about you worry about your own well-being, good sirs? Because from the waters rise these strange finned humanoids who would like to say hello to you. What is this map? It has no map on it. Which is to say that some fine gentleman would like to, just ask you some slight questions about your personal well-being and stuff. They just want to make sure that you're alright. Let's move this card over a bit. This is about where you find yourself like, wait a minute, I've been led astray. How dare they? Unfortunately, the whole walls and doors can come with, but that's alright.
I'm gonna assume that I got back whatever bolts I could from the bodies.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Cool.
out of these fine gentlemen, one in particular appears to be a very big, big man. He points out his finger, and what language does this man yell in? He yells in Aquan. Does anyone here speak Aquan?
Nope.
Nope.
He speaks in some
I don't think I do.
bubbly language. He yells at you. You're not sure what he's yelling or why he insists on being so loud and noisy, but he sure is. He sounds angry and upset and frustrated. This might just be a misunderstanding, but without a means to communicate, he's going to remove you from the premises, as it were. Which is to say, welcome to combat. Alright. Don't forget, by the way, and here's the thing that I want to explain to you. You can definitely use the stamina thing to recover your stamina on the short rest as you travel along.
Yeah.
So, the way you recover your stamina, let's just take a look at the rules, shall we? Let's just take a look at the rules. In order to recover your stamina, you must spend a resolve point. How long do you need to rest? Is it a 10 minutes? How many minutes? It's all one full rest, stabilize stamina, action, take a breather. It's 10 minutes. Okay, cool. So you probably had time to recover your stamina. You spend a resolve point on that, and bada boom, you get it. Shashka, you don't get initiative. You're part of a lady. Martha is fast on the draw, apparently, getting it all once more. Again, I recommend that you spend that resolve point to get your stamina back, kids.
How do I do it?
Yeah, what do we do on the button for that?
So
Or is it just...
there is a section under your hit points, under that big hit point section on the red ribbon on your sheet. It's a section called stamina points. You can edit the current to be as high as your maximum, and they can reduce your resolve by 1. You have a number of resolve points equal to your key ability modifier, which for Cruxius, for example, is strength, which would be a 4.
Cool.
And for Martha, that would be 3. Nice. Delilah, I think, has 4. Yeah. I have 9 stamina, but I'll get it back often. Martha, you notice these creatures and decide that you should probably take some action. In some sorts. I don't know if that involves killing them or attacking them or trying to communicate. It's up to you. But they seem aggressive about your current situation.
I'm just gonna I have my sword in one hand, but not like drawn just at my side. Hold the other hand up. I'm gonna try to be like, hey, we're in the wrong area and we're trying to leave. Like I'm trying to persuade them to that we're gonna leave.
You try to, with the best of your ability, portray that you are in fact perfectly fine. Cool.
Yeah.
How about you roll me some diplomacy then?
Roll that diplomacy.
How smart are these guys anyway? They're not the smartest. However, they will give you a moment. Crucius and Delilah. They will not take a combat turn. They'll simply sit around as they kind of wait for you to do something. It seems that there's some sort of misunderstanding because at the very least, Martha's able to stop them for a moment, or maybe Martha's just a spellcaster and refuses to tell you.
I mean, she seems like the guy.
How do you respond to, at this point you've heard the loud yelling, you've heard Martha yell back. What do you do?
Well, of course, the angel's coming out. Yeah.
Pull out your badge,
Sword
baby.
drawn because stuff's going down.
You have to read them the Miranda rights first.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how.
Well, just use comprehend languages or tongues. Or get some polyglot man with lots of languages in his brain.
The funny thing is, within like a week, I would figure out how to, tell them their own laws.
Yeah, but you couldn't speak the language of the laws, which would also interfere with your ability to use that ability. You can't learn the law if you can't talk. So yes, this is essentially, you can take whatever turn you want. You can stab them in the back and take full advantage of them being lazy, or you can try to resolve the situation peacefully.
Crucius is gonna get up there to support, but allow Martha to handle it because she's not the best negotiator.
No negotiating skill. Delilah, do you think perhaps you might have some contributory powers here?
Yeah, I'm relatively negotiable.
Oh gosh.
I can definitely come out like hands empty, up, just like Yeah, we don't mean any harm. We got a little lost and wound up here by accident.
Cool. Well, you seem to have a moment. What do you do with this moment where they just sort of have their weapons out, pointed towards you? They seem ready to strike, but maybe if you're careful, you can just like. Martha, you're the one sitting on the in the driver's seat. You're behind the wheel.
I would convince Tatiana and Betty to back up, just back up the cart and just kind of
Cool.
ease on back.
By slowly and carefully negotiating the situation, you manage to back yourself up. At this time, I imagine that you're just gonna go straight to where you know you need to go, since the compass seems to be working again.
Well, that was weird.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the fog than the fish people.
And the compass. That's a new one.
Yeah, the fish people kind of seem to be minding their own business.
Anyone who got religion?
I do.
That's just a
I
thing
get
that
it.
will-o-wisps can do. Will-o-wisps can cause a variety of natural phenomenon to mess with people. They can even cause your sense of balance to go slightly askew so that you veer off in a direction. Nothing,
I'm really good with religion.
nothing major, but they can definitely fuck with you. Which is all they need. They don't like fighting. They like fear. They like people who are like, I'm drowning! I'm so scared to die. And they go, tasty.
Or that one time Claire licked one.
You
remember.
don't need to remind me that Claire liked the will-o-wisps. And then she got
Yeah,
zapped.
Yeah, I ran into it in this campaign.
Please, Dizzy, please. You need to understand. Claire's still kind of dumb sometimes.
There were the will-o-wisps, and Claire's character and my character didn't like each other. And mine's like, hey, you should touch it. And then she freaking does.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Wow.
And just
Don't.
falls over.
Marvelous, marvelous. You make your ways back, having successfully negotiated a fighting situation, which is always nice. To not have to
It
kill
is.
people that you don't want to kill. After all, you don't get points for that. There are no points for killing people. I think we're going to have an issue with this map being too big. But like I said, I'll solve it later.
Yeah, the goblins were looking to jump us. The fish people just looked confused.
Yeah.
Which one of these? Oh, that one. Look, there's something else entirely. Which one am I using? I'm using no grid. Okay, cool. Let's have to edit this a bit. And make it smaller. I didn't think this would be a problem. So if you're wondering why I thought this would be okay, it's because I didn't think this would be a problem. Usually isn't. But I'm used to Roll20, where that isn't a problem because they don't let you upload something too big. Cool. Now I just gotta set the new picture. And there we go. Nice and smooth and smooth and smooth. And I just gotta plop you here and I'm gonna plop you back. Marvelous. You enter a village. Through the road. It'll take a bit for this to happen, apparently. Oh. Excuse me, there's also a lighting setup on this map. Why is that? Off. Shoo. And Dizzy takes a bit as usual. I think Dizzy's browser just like, I'm gonna take my time on these big pictures. I will ask for the hash code twice.
I'm on my way.
I will ask for the hash function twice, and check it twice. Marvelous. It is quite the city that you travel your way into. Good gents and gentlemen, and gentle ladies. I think it's all ladies, actually.
Wow.
Whoops,
Yeah,
all girls.
It's actually all female for once.
Gal pals.
Girls' night, girls' night.
What a night it is. The village has a small gathering in a central square. But first you are drawn towards the very strange architecture. Lots of brickwork, relatively tall houses. They have this... They're made in such a way that they look, like medieval houses, like they look very tall for what they are. Like very skinny yet tall. Very condensed. There's a certain homeliness to them. You hope they're homelier on the inside. However, the day is dragging on, and your friend recommends that perhaps you stop at the local inn. After all, the organization, what he organized, what Anthony took care of is, he has a contact he needs to talk to, because, he can't just roll up to a noble's house when they live on a big, scary mountaintop and go, hey, I want to go inside and talk to you. No, he needs to talk to this guy, take care of everything, get a date scheduled. Meeting people takes time and effort, especially when you're very far away. Anthony says that he'll head out once we stop at the inn, and you go take care of yourself. This is his part. This is where he does the work. Wink. He sounds like he really wants to be more important about it than he is, despite the fact that he's resolved 2 issues so far and he's done nothing. At the central square is a gathering of people. They seem upset. Outraged, in fact. There's yelling, there's pointing, there's the flailing of fists in the air. There seems to be no central person that they are talking to, although there is like a gathering around one person. It's hard to tell who's what and what's who. The inn is directly north of you when the cart stops, since they can't move through this crowd. What do you do?
I could go see what they're all excited about.
Martha?
I'll follow.
And Delilah too?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang back a little bit. Crowds aren't exactly my thing.
Find a
Yeah,
corner.
bad experiences. You slip into the crowds and ask a few questions. They clearly see that you're outsiders, but they're so caught up in the rage that they don't even say the usual, "What are you doing here, stranger?" and just go straight to the part where they yell to you about there's been recent sightings of a large man-eating wolf. There have been sightings of wildlife getting hunted, of farm fences being broken down. A creature of madness, a creature of the night, they say. They're very concerned, and as Anthony leans outside and sees this whole crowd yell, and suddenly they yell in unison, "Catch the wolf!"
Oh, I mean, until they
Yeah.
had me, until they're doing that, it kind of, had my attention.
Like, this is one of the situations where, like, every once in a while, like, someone steps up and goes, "I saw he'd break my fence," and the other one goes, "He stole my sacks of grain,
He slept with my wife.
and he gave me a new child. That's not mine, I swear."
Paternity tests aren't a thing yet, haha.
They're inconclusive.
And then Gaston shows up out of nowhere.
God, that asshole's here.
And Jerry Springer's like, "Actually,
Eating all
you
our
are the
eggs.
father."
And then Oprah shows up, and you get a wolf, and you get a wolf. And then they all get eaten by werewolves.
And then, despite the fact that he's a no person, like, why is he a werewolf then? It's like, well, you've got to talk about your mother. Because it's Jerry Springer, baby.
And a man and a wolf love each other very much.
Anyway,
They
these
start
people
screaming on
these
TV.
people seem very upset, and they're blocking the width of the cart to go like the few extra feet it takes to park in front of the place. What do you do? Do you want to maybe, like, they seem very upset about the fact that some teams are rampaging around, which is the GM winking and going, "You're gonna be here for a bit. You might as well find something to do." Like Anthony
Alright,
said,
well-
it takes a bit.
If we have time, we may as well help these people.
Nice.
Werewolves are creatures of the darkness, and I do
Oh.
not permit those to harm people.
Cool.
You permit creatures to the lightness to harm.
By the way, are any
No.
one of
Yeah.
you particularly tall?
Uh,
Like, say, over 6,
I'm-
5'8"?
I'm
Uh,
5'11".
6'3".
Okay,
High
well,
five, y'all.
Eh.
Wait, 5'6".
oh my goodness.
Tiny.
In that case, the sort of center of this crowd, which really only Martha could see since it was on top of the cart, does move over at some point. If you remember, it's Ismark. Well, not like you would know him particularly, but, the handout for the guy. It's that friendly face of Ismark. He holds out his hand and would like to firmly shake it. "Ah, hello, welcome to the fine village of Barovia. I see that we have visitors. I am Ismark. How may I be of service?" I mean, you have a cart with you. You look
Yeah,
important.
right now we well, first we need to find our lodgings for our horses, then find our lodgings for us, which I think are already arranged. So
Well, you seem to be quite important folk, so if it is a problem, I can assure you that I have space near my house where your horses can safely be held and sheltered for the night. I have a small stable, you see. Mind if I ask, which one of you does the cart belong?
it belongs to our charge, I believe. Anthony Vaclav.
Well, Anthony climbs out slowly when he hears, like, more pleasant, reasonable conversation. The crowd begins to disperse, mostly grumbling about things. Anthony and him shake hands, exchange pleasantries, the usual situation. Then Anthony says, "You know what? You go park my chariot, my carriage. I'm going inside," and leaves you with Ismark. Well, I'm very glad to see that a few outsiders. You look like, might I say, competent individuals, and apparently in charge of some noble. Was yes, a noble he was. Um, Perhaps you could help me out with a slight problem that fine village has been suffering from for the last few nights. If that isn't too much to ask.
And what would that be?
Well, as has been mentioned, we have been haunted by a strange creature that well, normally I wouldn't take this up with strangers. I would, of course, direct this to the appropriate authorities. But let's just say that the few that have seen this creature have been quite terrified by its very presence alone. So I fear that I must ask of complete strangers for the assistance here. Although you look like the adventuring type, the type that would certainly help a village in need, as it were.
For the most part, yeah.
Of course, a
Yeah,
good deed would
roll
not
with you.
a good deed would not go without a proper reward. Um, but I haven't quite thought on what to do yet. It's been a slowly building issue, and I have other things to worry about when it comes to this time of year, after all. So how about you stay here for the night? I'm going to see if I can get a ward together, so at the very least you'll be properly compensated for it. Maybe you should ask around a bit too if you really wish to help. I only have so many details, and it's very difficult to listen to a crowd when they're all very, very busy. And welcome to Barovia. I'm sure you will find your stay quite pleasant as long as you stay on the right side of the law and act accordingly.
I am
Yep.
always on the right side of the law.
Those are the two ways I live.
He points around you like at the strong silent type that's been standing in the background the whole time. Is not.
She doesn't talk much.
I have noticed that she does in fact not have a lot to say, and she's not like one of those people, right?
What
No,
would
the
you
problem
mean?
is we have to keep her quiet because if we don't, she doesn't stop talking.
Fair enough. Well, as I said, welcome. Enjoy your stay. And since you may be going after something dangerous of the unholy sorts, at least if the villagers are to be believed, the church up the hill. Doro is our local priest. He can certainly help you with any need of holy water if you require such a tool.
That'd be quite useful to have. You know,
The church.
Not to mention
is
him
a
and his
place-
son are a jolly couple. Good for talk.
perfect.
He seems a chipper enough fellow, for what it is. The Ismark, that is.
Yeah, and we'll get situated. Find our bearings, and once we're ready, or once you're ready, we'll find each other and talk about how we're gonna handle this wolf situation or unholy situation.
Are there
Indeed.
any people in town that you could recommend us speaking to before we head off?
Well, as I said, there is. Let me pull up the name again. There is Donovich and his son Doru. They are in the church up north. There is if you require medical assistance, the nearest doctor, as it were, is Lady Hissa. She lives a distance down the road in the trees. I would recommend waiting until she comes by on her usual visits to. I wouldn't recommend going into the forest too much, even if you have protection. It's quite dangerous to be there out on your own, which is exactly why such a wolf can freely prance about as it wishes. We must tolerate some evil, of course, but anyway, other than that, we of course have our local friendly blacksmith. He's quite the jolly fellow. He lives just over there. Let me just look up the guy who lives in this building because I forgot his name and I didn't write it down yet because I didn't think we'd be here yet. Life has a way of making me surprised. Gotta open up the map with the numbers on it. That way I can navigate. Marvelous. And he points to the big building down south, which is, I think, E1. Marvelous. A fine gentleman called Bildrath runs that shop over there. He is the general merchant. Does a lot of fine trading around here. Plenty of business to be done. I think you'll find that his stock is quite nice. Do mind that he is a bit of a. He does have a high price, so you'll have to tolerate a slight markup on the usual stuff. We have our fine. She's kind of a flower picker herb lady. Takes care of the minor injuries around here. Lady Mary. Lives a short distance down south from there. I personally would, and this is just between you and me, if you're going to stay at the inn, what's it called again? I think it's called Blood on the Wine. It is blood on
Cool
the
name,
of the vine.
honestly.
That's the term. He recommends that
That's
if you
so
stay
cool.
there, to try not to get too involved with the Vistani there. You'll know who they are. They stand out like a sore thumb, almost like yourself.
Alright, don't get involved with Sani.
Who are the Vistani, if I might ask?
A local population of troublemakers, as it were. However, they do own the inn, which prohibits me from removing them. They are quite noisy and rambunctious and stay up late into the night, and as a result, people cannot get their sleep. Not to mention the fact that they have taken several opportunities to throw fresh and rotten fruit at my house.
Ah, so they're little, rapscallions.
Little
If you will.
rapscallions, yes. Well,
I
again,
have no idea how illegal that is here.
again, I hope you enjoy your stay, and that it is nothing but something to come back to. Takes a small bow, and unless you have anything else to ask, he will leave. And we will leave it there for the night.
Have a good day, sir.
Marvelous.
Yep, and we can continue from there to go hunt a werewolf.
Well, actually, you should probably start off by getting a good night's sleep for tonight. And then we'll see what happens next time.
Yes.
Man, I didn't even get through half the stuff I prepared for session 1, but to be fair, bit of a short one.
Yeah,
Wow.
tomorrow is holiday, and I don't want to be up too late.
I gotta go places in like an hour. So,
Yeah, you did say today was busy day.
I gotta go to an appointment, then I gotta go look at a house. Ugh. Apartment more like it, but
You might get an apartment?
I might.
Ooh.
I might
That'd
get,
be cool.
I might get a place of my own.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick up my feet. I'm gonna say, I'm the boss around here. Yeah.
And hey, man, Saf, that'd probably be much better ventilation than your room.
Maybe I
Hmm.
can. What do you mean, much better ventilation?
I thought you said that was a problem that happened in, like the summer.
Yeah. That was a
You can
problem.
have
Also,
a window.
if you have an apartment, next year, I'm talking about dragging Ringo and Claire to Europe. We can come see ya.
That sounds extremely busy considering it's not that big.
Well, I mean, we were planning to stay in our own place, but we just come visit.
Okay, that's a lot better.
Yeah, no, like the plan we had was we would get our own place for a few days in probably
it's
yeah,
basically a
the nearby
studio
city.
apartment, by the way. It's like a room and then like
Oh.
some small sort of adjacent rooms.
I know those. I've lived in those.
Marvelous. So,
But
by the way, just as a question, how do you enjoy this? I tried to put a bit more of a focus on the situations than
yeah, I just sent a message to Bella commenting, the people here are a lot more alive than the last time we came here.
Well, at the very least, they're angrier than before.
Well, yeah, last time they were sort of just out of it. I think we stole that one house.
I think
But
I think it helps sell
yeah.
my new interpretation of Barovia, which is one that you weren't gonna see coming. There's a lot of stuff you're
I
not
am
gonna see coming.
interested because it's been different enough that it's, you see a couple things that are familiar, but enough that it's still new.
Oh, it's
For
gotta be.
Dizzy, the first time we came through here with our first campaign in Strahd, that house in the top right corner,
Oh my
we
god!
stole it. We were trying to. We had no money. We wanted to find a place to stay, so we go up there. Bella's trying to talk our way in, all nice and polite. My arcane trickster rogue's like, you know what? Screw this. Sleep. Knocks the whole house out. We walk in. We take the house for the night.
You jerks!
And then Strahd showed up.
And then
Yeah, that's funny. Last time I played Strahd, I also stole a house.
I guess it's just the thing you gotta do around here.
Yeah, it's a Barovian tradition.
Alright,
And then
next episode,
Strahd,
that's what we're doing for no reason.
It's a
Strahd
slightly
showed up,
fancier house, but
and then Strahd showed up so often that we've just started assuming he's going to show up in other campaigns. Like you've seen Thor Ragnarok, right?
yeah.
Okay, so essentially half the time when something happened in this campaign, it was like we talked to this guy, he's like, "Bruh, it's me," and he turns into Strahd and he stabs at us. We almost killed him halfway in one time.
It just turns into a Team Rocket villain where he shows up in every single scene.
One time he kind of did. He showed up on a bridge, and then a giant plot eagle knocked him off of the bridge.
Oh man, the plot eagle.
And then Bella's halfling monk lunges off the
Gnome.
bridge. No monk lunges off the bridge after him. gets the terminal velocity and just punches him into the river. Bella, I am so sad we didn't use that natural 20 thing you had to just explode him right there. Just imagine if
So,
that was how we killed
yeah.
Strahd. We're just like halfway in and you just punch him and he just detonates. And that's how we killed a vampire lord. What happened to the gnome? They disintegrated.
Broop.
There is no gnome.